Yeah.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. We really appreciate all of you who took time tonight to join us. I'm Aaron, and this is my beautiful other half, Veronica. And we're excited to bring you guys a message tonight about some things that have really been working for us, and it has to do with our language that we use. And so we're excited, though. This is a really good opportunity for us. As far as just a little introduction, again, my name's Aaron. And I've 10 years out to get my master's degree in social work, and I've been in counseling for the last 10 years. And part of what I'm wanting to do with this and us together is to start sharing some things that we've learned the past several years and learning about things as far as like with my counseling and stuff. We want to just reach out and support people and share some things that we've learned for me. And then Veronica, she has been a health coach. She is a health coach. She loves photography. And we've been married for 15 years.
Almost.
15 years this year.
Yeah.
We have 4 kids. Our oldest is 12. Youngest is 5. That's just a little bit about us, and love what's happening in our lives right now a lot.
I'm going to share that with you guys. We're going to go into our screen so you can see, and we'll get started. So here we go. Here we go.
Okay, FN, F5.
There we go. We're getting
well,
there.
You never know. So
Awesome.
we have thought a lot about this actually in the past probably year. We've really been working on our language and how we speak to ourselves. And so we wanted to share some things that we've learned with you guys tonight about what we say and how it makes a difference. And so just to kind of give you that up front, that's what we'll be talking about tonight. The inner dialogue that we have actually is really critical with determining how our day goes and what kind of energy we're going to have. So let's get to just a little picture here. Do you want to take this, dear?
Yeah, so like Aaron said, we've been going through a lot of changes. We had tools before, but we just didn't know how to use them, and we weren't happy with life fully. This is, you can see our before picture, or then we had just had our youngest daughter, and life was good, but we just were in the rut of just the day-to-day grind. We didn't do any more or any less. We were just kind of cruising by. And when you get stuck in that place, you don't really feel like you're achieving anything. You just feel like you're just getting by day to day. We had dreams and we had plans, but we didn't know how to get there. And this is the bottom picture is one we took this past fall. And I feel like hey, I'm glad you guys got on. I feel like it's made a huge difference, the things that we've been doing. And part of that is the language that we use. And as you can see, we have 4 kids, and life can get hectic, and there's lots of things going on. But if the way we're speaking, both in our mind, to ourselves, and to the people around us, if that's not good, then it affects everything else within our life. And so that's what we want to share with you tonight, are a few different ways that you can change up your language and ultimately change your life.
Now, so here's the thing too. I mean, if you look at the picture of the then, it was a good day. It was a happy day. Internally, though, there was a lot of conflict about what was happening for me. The language I used towards myself was not healthy. And I look at the picture at the now, and I see in my face and my smile like a certain joy and happiness. And that's come through some things that we've been practicing that we're going to share tonight. So what we have next is we just want to show a little video clip of, actually it's the brain. Sorry, let's make sure we cover this first. One thing that we definitely want to highlight is that your brain is amazing. I don't know how many years, several years, I've felt like I've been stuck and that I am just destined to be something that has been determined by someone else. I have a job for another company. They decide my schedule. They decide pretty much how my week is going to go. And I kind of just settled into it and just was saying, hey, this is what I'm ending up being. I mean, I got my master's degree, which is great. I've gone as far as I can go. Well, I've learned recently that my brain is amazing. What potential it has to create is awesome. And it's really been a huge blessing to realize this, because it's given me a sense of fulfillment and an improvement in relationships with my kids and with my wife. Just even my colleagues at work too are noticing that there's some changes, and it just feels really fulfilling.
Well,
So we just want to point out your brain is amazing.
Your brain is amazing. I think we underestimate what we can really do. Like we tell ourselves that, oh, I can't do that, or we're dumb. We say all these things to ourselves. And, you know, if we were to change up how we talked, even to ourselves, we would give us the chance to do some amazing things. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to go to a video clip real quick. Hey, Katie, how are you doing? Hi, you look good. Let's see. Gonna get to our screen somewhere. Oh, okay, here we go, y'all.
So this is a clip that we found. Again, we're highlighting the ability of the brain to be able to create whatever you want to create.
So check this out. Okay.
A couple things that we think are impactful from that video. One for me is you think of their success, you know, where they're at right now, and you realize that in the beginning they experienced failure and setbacks, but it sounds like they didn't allow that to define who they are. So when someone asks you the question, who am I? If you take on the identity of I'm a failure, that's really risky and unhealthy, obviously. In their case, they were able to overcome. Now, she said, I think in the line it said that she experienced depression, but she was able to overcome it. So what that makes me think about is, how does a person overcome their failures and their setbacks? And the answer to that is mindset. How you train your brain to respond to difficulty, failure, I mean, is going to separate you from others out there that allow that setback and failure to determine what is going to happen going forward. And so I loved to hear that, hey, you know what? They went through some real tough things too. And yet they had the drive and the mindset to move forward. And
sorry guys, I'm going to get into this, and it's problems.
There's always something, you know, it's always something.
But we don't let that stop us.
Oh.
you know, the funny thing is before we were getting ready to start this presentation, I'm hearing like the little voices in my head that are telling me, people don't want to hear your message. They're not interested. And so that's part of mindset, right? Like every day we encounter those thoughts that want to pull us back to where we've been and have results that we know, but we're in pain. And the skill is to have the awareness to go to a life where we want things to be. And so as soon as we get to this slide,
All right, well, we're just gonna move on right there. There we go.
And I was talking about this a little bit. You know, it's kind of like an exercise video, right? When you think about exercising, is it easier to follow someone who's already got a plan all together and you kind of know what to do? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. Is we've done some things that have helped us, and we're going to share them with you. But this slide here is something that I covered about how we respond really determines the ability of a person from person to person to move forward and to keep making progress.
Well, and in the video, I love what both of them said, but Oprah said, you know, I've got to use my strengths and then build on that with my personality and all the things that come together to make me me. And that's what we got to do. And part of that is how we talk to ourselves and then in how that affects how we act. So let's go to the next slide. I don't know why that's not working. There we go. Okay. So old ways. I think when we're trying something new, we get this pushback from our brain because our brain's like, no, hold on. We have not been there before. We cannot cross this bridge. We may respond in our old ways. And I've been guilty of this because we get those habits that we have are strong. They want to pull us back, you know? So maybe we get upset when things don't happen or things don't go our way, depression, maybe we give up. We take it out on others. But these are just our old ways trying to say, no, we don't want to push forward because doing something new is uncomfortable. And so it wants to kind of pull you back to the back, you know, so you don't cross that bridge.
Now,
that's not what we want to do.
I can almost hear you guys thinking that, yeah, so there's a science behind this. If you think about the brain's job is to protect us from anything that threatens us. So either we're going to run or we're going to attack, or we're going to just be like stand still, like freeze. That happens to several as well, where we just kind of like, oh, I'm not sure what to do, but we're not moving forward. We're just kind of there. But there's a science behind the brain. And it's really critical to understand this, because when we choose to live life how we want it to be, when we choose those old ways are going to be saying, and our brain is going to be saying, we've never done that before. You could die if you go up and publicly speak in front of people. You could die. Because the feelings that are generated from public speaking, I mean, it is the number one fear that people report before anything else. It is a strong number one. So when people feel that, their brain's like, we could die here. And so, oh, well, I'm going to go back to what's familiar and what is predictable, because that's where the brain's like, okay, this is where we like it. But the risk of that, of course, is living our life in those old ways is painful.
For sure.
For lots of reasons that there were some mentioned on that slide. So what we want to do going forward is we want to choose what will be. And we're having a little trouble with the slides, but what we've done is we've got an image here. We've got an image of a bridge. So what we want to point out is it's almost like you're building a bridge from your old ways to your new way of life. The new way of life is how you think, which the thoughts are from how you speak. So the language that you put in is going to train your brain, leading to the thoughts that will be created.
The crazy part is, I don't think we fully realized that for a long time.
No, we didn't.
We would think, oh, this is what we want. We're trying to build toward this. We're going to reach this goal, whatever. But we kept talking about it as if it were in the past, as if, that it would never happen. So if you're trying to reach a goal, but yet you're telling yourself, I'm never going to get there, this is too hard, you're always saying these things, your brain's like, well, we're not going there. Like, if you already think you're a failure, then why should we go forward? So definitely the bridge. I love how you just said that. The bridge from what you used to think to what you could be doing, what you could be saying.
Well, and if you're going to use language, you're going to say what will be. So it's almost like it's going to happen. You're basically just telling your brain, look, I know you're uncomfortable, but it's going to happen. So buckle up. You know what I mean? It's almost like training your brain takes that kind of focus. And then with practice, your brain will start producing thoughts. I've got a great example of this. So before I started realizing the importance of training my brain and how critical it can be, I was never getting up in the morning to exercise. I just wasn't. I realized though in my training that if I create language that says something like, I'm a fit person and I take care of my body, and I set my alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning, when my alarm clock goes off at 5 in the morning, my brain produces a thought that says, you're fit and you take care of your body. Now, when that moment happens, I have to choose to get out of my warm, comfortable, safe bed. Okay, I have to make the choice. But the thought comes because I'm creating the language that says, this is who you are. You're not a failure. You're fit and you take care of your body. Definitely. So then the thought comes, and then that leads to the behavior, which I roll the covers off, I get out of bed, and I say, look, I'm fit. I want to do this because it's my choice. I choose this. Language is so critical. So the bridge then represents, and it's nice and green and pretty on the other side with all the trees, right? That's what life is like when we live it as it will be, not what it's been. We've been there. We know those results. Okay, I can tell you some of my results in my old ways: depression, lack of purpose, lack of intent, trouble with relationships. Yeah, I was comfortable. I didn't have to stretch very far, but it wasn't fulfilling. Life with purpose is fulfilling. Life with purpose is fulfilling. So we choose what will be.
So the biggest way that we have found to change our language is to have declarations that we say. Now, I had not heard of this term for most of my life. I hadn't heard of it until last year, maybe a year and a half ago, where you're saying sentences or you're saying words that are specific to what you want to achieve. So they're very intentional with what it is. So here are just a couple of examples of what you could say. And I'll share one of my favorites, but you could say when you're trying to change your language, I choose my language, or I am confident and charismatic. So you're choosing those words that you want to embody. One of the ones that I love the most is at the very end. It's money flows quickly and easily to me, because I've always had a hang up with money. So that's something I've been working on, just that you can do good things with money and it comes and goes. Okay, so I know a lot of people I've talked with that money's a big thing. It's sometimes a really big stressor, and that's how I felt with it. But another one I say is that today I will make a difference. And I say it every morning. Aaron, do you want to share one of yours?
You can almost hear her passion in her voice. If you guys know Veronica, she's really driven. When she states her declarations, it's powerful. But that can be for all of us. I know for me, here's what I do. Okay, I wake up in the morning and I go in the bathroom to change in my workout clothes. After the thought comes, I roll the sheets off, I go change into my workout gear, and I look in the mirror. And I give myself a smile, and I tell myself, hey, you look good. You've got something to take care of today. You've got purpose. And then I do use a declaration. I usually say, I am fit. I am fit. I am fit. Because my brain needs to know that this is who I am. I'm not going to live those old ways. I've done that. I've been there. And my brain needs to know that I'm in control. I'm at the steering wheel. My mind is not wandering no more. I am in control. So I tell my brain consciously, I am fit. I take care of my body. And those are the declarations that I like personally for me when it comes to exercise. With time, I noticed with some of the things that I want to do, creating what I want to create with my wife here and what we plan to do, time. I've got a full-time job, but I love the energy I get from sharing my message. And so I want to make the transition. Well, I've got to train my brain that, hey, I am excellent at managing time. I've got a client that I'm working with right now. She said the first thing that she thinks about when she wakes up, well, first of all, she doesn't want to get out of bed. She's like 48-ish, somewhere in there, 45 to 50. First of all, she doesn't want to get out of bed because she knows once she gets out, the day is going to begin and there's going to be things to have to deal with. The first two things that come to her mind. Number one, I have to go to work and I hate my job. Number two, how am I ever going to get ahead with my finances? And then probably a distant third, but close, is the time. Like, people feel like there's not enough time to get everything done. Well, I can tell you from my experience, just by saying I am excellent at managing time, how many times that language has given me back control of the situation. How many times does that happen? I'll just say, no, I'm excellent at managing time. And all of a sudden I feel like I've got all this time to take care of whatever I want to take care of. Whether it's I'm not on Facebook or whether I'm just watching a TV show, I can actually take that time instead, and that helps me to feel like I can manage it. So
declarations is just one way that we want to challenge you to go write your own. If it's just one word, start with one word. If it's a sentence, start with a sentence. But identify where you want to make changes, because this is personal for you. You can use the ones we have here, or you can write your own. That's the great part about it. But declarations is definitely one way to change your words. And you might be thinking, well, that's too easy. If I just say it, that's too easy. That's not going to make any changes. But what we say puts the energy out there, and that's what you get back.
And here's the neat thing too with declarations. Crazy. We have 4 kids. We do this with them most mornings. And I'm not going to say it's perfect. What I'm going to say is we're modeling for our kids a mindset about life. If there's a certain way that you receive an ability to make progress in life and respond to challenges by training your brain with positive language. I've seen it in my kids. One of our kids, Kenzie, she's our 5-year-old. She calls them decorations. But this morning she said, I create order. Do you know how cool that is that a 5-year-old is saying that? Because how often in life do we think life is just chaos? Well, if she knows that she can create order, that's awesome. Cleaning up a room or helping do whatever. And if she knows that she's accomplished something and she says, I created order, it just melts my heart to hear that kind of stuff.
We hear too much negative. Like, they already hear that. They go to school, they already hear that from their kids. Maybe the media or whatever, they already hear the negative. So we need to talk about the positive.
So basically, this is a how-to, right? So like when Oprah, when it said on that line, like she got in depression, but she was able to overcome it. This is how you do it. This is how you respond to failure. You train your brain that failure is that's not gonna be your identity. You train your brain that, hey, yeah, I failed at this, but I'm not done yet. My story's not done yet. And you basically just turn that around and you declare, this is who I am. And you just keep moving forward. The other how, so you got declarations,
good stuff in.
But we also need to realize that naturally we're going to have like some negativity kind of a feel. And we've got to find a way to get that released. We got to get that out of us so that the good stuff can go in.
I think it's hard to live in both worlds, where inside it's like utter turmoil. Things are just going on. There's like waves crashing all around. But then on the outside, you're trying to create this world where things are better and you're taking a step up. And so in order for those to kind of finally come into balance, is that you got to get rid of some of the negative. It's like making room in your closet. Ladies, I know you all understand. Like, sometimes you got to spring, be quiet. Sometimes you've got to spring clean, like
get rid of some crap, you know? And like, if you're always saying to yourself, I'm ugly, or I'm fat, or I can't do this, your brain is saying these things, we've got to clear that out. Clear out the crap, you know, whatever you want to call it.
Now the way to do that is if you allow the thought just to stay in your head and just twirl and twirl and twirl around. So the idea is that you write it out on paper. By doing that, you're actually going to create some energy in your brain, some space. You'll create some space in your brain. You get it out on paper, and then make sure that you rip it up and throw it away, because you want those emotions to know that they're not going to stay in your head.
Because it's science, right? Like, we're getting it out, our brain can see it on the paper, and then we throw it away, or you could even burn it. I got what did you get me for Christmas? What's it called?
Fire pit.
You got me a fire pit for Christmas. I said, oh, this will be so fun. I'll be out there roasting my s'mores.
And I said, that's not why I got this. I got this so the kids can burn. They can use fire.
But it totally works.
To get rid of those emotions that are at risk. They're at risk for, keeping them stuck. And us. We participate.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing that you can do is you can vent. But you want to make sure this is done around no one. Go out in nature, somewhere safe, like a field, somewhere up in the mountains, and you basically just let it out. Whoever's upset you, just visualize them being there and just let them have it.
You're being honest with them. But
ask for forgiveness, but get it out. The longer it stays in there, the more likely you're going to have thoughts that are generated about that person that are negative. It'll just keep happening.
What was the famous saying? We ain't got time for that. Like, we do not have time for all the negativity. If you've got relationships that you need to heal, which I have those relationships I need to heal. But when we do that, though, it frees up space in our mind. It frees up space in our soul.
And honestly, that's what
we need.
That's what we want. Is I want to feel liberated. I want to feel like my mind is free to be what I want to be. And the thing that I'm realizing is that I can create that by learning how to manage my emotions and stating who I am and getting rid of this junk that's been in there for years, setting me back. So we want you to consider with those declarations to write in the next probably 3 days. Write down one declaration that you can say anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day. To do that, and then also, either write it down and get rid of it, or you can vent.
Get rid of the junk.
Yep. One thing that we've noticed in our progress and our ability to understand how our brain works and moving forward is having someone that's already been through the mess. Having someone who's already been through the crap and then shares with us, okay, here's what they learned. Like this write and burn thing, like you write it out and then you burn it. That's not something I've ever read in a book or anything like that, but we've tried it and it works. Like, our kids act so much, I don't know what the word is. They're a little more pleasant to be around when we do that activity.
It's a work in progress. It's better than what it used to be.
Yes, that's definitely true. And so, but we know this. Okay, when you have someone that's on your side and that supports you, you have a higher likelihood of being successful. Because you have the accountability, you have the support, and you also have the experience that a person has. And so for us, one of our objectives and our goals is we want to get out there and we have so much energy to share, and we want to just make a difference and influence and learn from others too. It's a two-way thing. And so here's some things that happen with coaching or mentoring. Mentoring is not as popular of a word, but I think it's getting more popular. You want to cover the...
Yeah, definitely. What we noticed, and when we got a mentor, was that you have someone to kind of guide you down the path. You might see where the path is at, but you're not really sure how to take it. And quite frankly, there's a lot of things in our path that hold us back. So a lot of roadblocks. And so a mentor has helped us get past those blocks, because sometimes we don't see them as clearly and we don't know how to get past it, but a mentor will, or they can give you suggestions on how to get past it, and you try it and it works. We're not just talking about
your family life. This goes into your work and into the teams that you're building and the businesses that you have. If you're not in a good place mentally, then it's going to be hard for you to help others. And so a mentor has also helped us reach our goals faster because they hold us accountable, and we kind of brainstorm ideas, and then we say, okay, this is what I'm committing to doing, and we move toward that. And so that's what I love about it.
And I think the biggest thing is I've realized that the investment I've made in having a mentor for me it's about me. Like how I feel internally, I'm the one who decides what kind of success I'm going to have. The mentor that I work with, they can't guarantee results. Okay. They can help me and open my eyes and open doors, but I have to choose and realize that it's within me. If I have trouble in my life, it's probably because of something that happened to me in my past and I'm not aware of it. So a mentor can really bring that out of us and help us to address it and get a plan together to move forward. And so that's what I've noticed has been really valuable for me, is I've realized a lot of my problems are within me. I mean, let's be real. I've got issues, right? But I'm learning.
Who doesn't?
Okay, we all do. But I'm learning that it's within me. If I ever have a conflict with someone, the first thing I think now is, okay, what in me do I need to change? Because it's in me. And the mentor has really helped to bring that out in that realization, which has been awesome.
Well, along with the group mentoring, along with the mentoring and how coaching works, but we're pretty excited that this is the month that we start our group mentoring. And really, it's a way for you to get connected with a mentor and also connected with a group of people that want to move forward. So if you're like, okay, I'm done living in the past, living with the past results, speaking in those old ways, and you're wanting to move forward, you have big goals you want to hit, you have dreams and things that you're working toward, you might consider the group mentoring that we're going to be doing in March. We're going to do a 6-week course where every week we're going to cover something different. We're going to have a new training for it. But we're pretty excited about this because we never really had this opportunity. All we had was either get into a huge class or do more one-on-one stuff. But what this allows us to do is more smaller groups and be able to have still that one-on-one time with a mentor. So
yeah, and I do it here. Group mentoring is just a way to now I can hear what you're thinking. I can hear this. You're thinking, I want to change, but I don't know exactly how to do that. You don't have to figure it out right now, because we're going to give you some tools and some resources that we've learned that have allowed us to make progress. And we have the ability to create, and you'll find this too. As you participate in self-development, you'll start to see, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I can create all this. So right now, if you're feeling like, I want to change, and you maybe even have some fear, like, I know what's going to take, and it's going to require some things for me to do differently. Yeah, it will. But believe me, there's something about fulfillment that you just cannot replace. Like, I mean, the way that I feel is amazing. And it didn't just happen. I've had to work on myself really hard. I've gone to several trainings and I put in the time, but it's so worth it. And the thing to be aware of, I think, is that there are influences out there that are not good. And I'm not going in depth in that, but there's good and there's evil. And for me, living a life where I feel like I'm accomplishing things is a great sense of fulfillment. So I hear what you're saying. I hear it, that I'm not really sure how to do this. We will guide you. We will support you. We will listen. We'll give you all that we have. So
there's a lot to it.
There is.
But we've been through a lot of this. And so that's what we want to share with you. So you don't have to take as long to reach those goals and get to those things as we did. It took us a long time to get to this place, but
we're not even but we're still so far from our potential, which excites me. It excites me. But we do feel like our experience, this is an opportunity for us to share and to, influence others and invite them. So these are just some of the details. We're going to limit it to 10 people because, well, I've got a full-time job and
We
she
want to be able to
does.
give more time to the
So we
to the
really
10
want to
people.
focus on the 10 people who
Definitely.
participate. And of course, she mentioned it's 6 weeks. So as far as like the details, every week there's a live training just like this that I don't know if we'll do together or we'll do them individually, but there will be weekly trainings online. And then also as part of it, at the beginning, in the middle, and the end, we'll have an individual call where 45 to 60 minutes, you get access to me or Veronica to talk about your goals and your self-development. And we're going to ask questions and we're going to support you and we're going to listen. And that's the kind of support you're going to get.
Well, and during the 6 weeks, we want you to choose a goal and we work on it so that the whole 6 weeks you're pushing towards this goal. And that's going to be a big thing because you got places to go. And like I said, we ain't got time for all the things holding us back. We need to move forward. And I know you want
This really is the year of movement. I mean, you can
is.
just kind of feel it happening. I can feel it happening around me. And I'm choosing to jump in. I'm choosing to jump in, work on myself, and make a difference. And so I mentioned some of the details here. Oh, we got some worksheets that we'll be putting together and some learning materials that will be part of that as well. And we want to help you stay on track. Now, of course, we can't guarantee that you're going to have amazing results. Only you can do that. And that's the big thing about this is self-development is about looking internally at who we are and what we can create. And so
it's all in your hands, which is great. You want to be in the driver's seat. You don't want someone else saying, nope, we're not going there. We're going to go here. You want to be in control. That's the great part about it. Here are just some of the couple of topics that we're going to cover. Our kids are down here playing, so you just hear little things.
They're like, hey, mom and dad have been gone for a while. Let's go see what they're doing. Leah, do you want to come say hi? No, she doesn't want to. Kenzie wants to say hi.
So here are some of the.
Here's our decorator. She likes to decorate.
Today was Dr. Seuss, so she has like her hat on.
Yeah. But we're real people. We have kids. Leah's got chocolate. She wants a big piece of chocolate right now. So
there we go. So here are some of the topics we're going to cover. We scratched the surface on declarations, and you're going to be able to learn even more. That's just one of the topics we're going to cover. Vision boards, how to use positive self-talk, empowerment techniques so that you can build upward, and then taking action to live life to the fullest. So like I said, these are just some of the topics, but over the 6 weeks, prepare for some growth. Prepare for it to be a little difficult because when we grow, our body and our soul wants to say, okay, I'm going back to the back, and it's going to push back against what we want to do. But prepare for some growth, and it's going to be good, but you'll look back and say, okay, I'm glad I took action because I would be in the same spot had I not done anything. So here's what you're going to be able to create during this 6 week time, okay? A plan to hit your goals, confidence in what you can do, and how to manage the things holding you back. So that's just some of the things you're going to be able to do, but so much more. Okay.
Yeah. Now, again, it goes back to like self-development, right? So how you take care of yourself and what you choose to do as part of the trainings is up to you. But we're going to give you everything we have. We'll run. You want to run? We're right there by you. We have the energy. We have the commitment. We have the whatever other words you want to use that fit those other ones. The drive, the determination. You know, we know how good we feel. And we also know the influence that we're having. So let me give you an example. So I've got a guy right now who's 63 years old. Okay, he's 63. A few weeks back, he started the call by saying, Aaron, I'm really stressed and I don't even know if this program is going to help me. Okay, now this is actually for my job that I do, for my full-time job, where I was talking to him. But he says, I don't even know if it's really worth it getting into this, investing my time. Well, I introduced a couple of things that I've been learning about myself, shared myself with him, and invited him to consider some of those suggestions. Well, he did. And within 2 weeks, Within 2 weeks, his stress was at a lower level of intensity, and he started to realize that his stress was distracting him from taking care of his health. Like his weight was out of range. He wasn't eating healthy because he was so focused on the stress. I mean, living life, we've all done that, right? We've all lived life letting the stress determine how our day goes. And so in this 6-week training, you're going to get some how-tos and how to take control of your life. Okay. Now you got to choose in, but that's part of what we'll train you on is the language that you're going to use to move forward.
Well, we know some of you that are on, you are owners of your own businesses and you create your own income and you're working with a lot of clients. Well, changing your mindset about your business, getting past your own blocks is only going to help you grow your business and also help the people that you're trying to reach out to. If you have good energy yourself, then you can give that to other people. And that's what we've been able to feel. And having a mentor has helped us be able to get past the things that were holding us back for years, long time.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's what you can do is have that good energy.
Yeah. And so to end that story, and it's still going actually with this 63-year-old. Now he's 63. Okay. It seems like the older we get, the less likely we are to think that we can actually determine our day and what we can create. But our brains can. We were small kids. We grow up, we get more knowledge. So why can't we keep getting more knowledge and keep learning how to create different things with what we know about ourselves? So we're offering this for the 6 weeks for 3 individual calls for $97. That's what we're
the whole group. If you want, we have clients that come to us and do one-on-one calls. But again, the group setting is really going to be a benefit to you because you're going to be able to learn from the other people in the group. Maybe they share their goals and what they're working on. But the weekly trainings, you will go through different things. You can ask questions, and then we can work with you individually, which that's the best part because you want to work on the things that you're working on and really push forward. But, sometimes you just need a little bit of help, and it's like, boom. Off you go.
And honestly, in the last 10 years, I've done a lot of listening. Okay. Like as a counselor, a lot of listening and a lot of experience in just hearing some of the challenges that people have. Let's be the type of people that can support them and lift them up and be part of the movement that, you know what, I get to decide. These external pressures, I'm done with them. The pressure is going to be from within. I am going to choose and be in control of my mind. I'm not going to let these outside influences dictate my mood and my energy. And so how we speak to ourselves is a big part of that. And we're going to go in depth in these 6 weeks, in addition to giving you some individual attention where we can really dissect your goals and talk about vision boards, because we want to use our whole brain in this process just to give us more of an advantage to be efficient with our time.
You haven't done a vision board. That's great. Like it's one of the things like I get so excited about because it has been huge for what we do and just for us personally. But we're going to cover a lot of things, and some things you'll stop and say, I had no idea I was even doing that, but yet it's holding me back. You had no idea because I didn't. There was things pointed out to me that I was like, I didn't even realize that.
That was me who pointed that out.
Well, sometimes it's him. Sometimes.
No, actually, Veronica last week pointed something out to me that was totally awesome. And because I've understood that it's okay to have an open mind, that I don't have all the answers, which was really big for me to realize this. I've always thought in my life I can figure anything out. Well, guess what? I had a lot of pain with that approach. Well, last week we were in a conversation, and she totally opened my mind about something that has been setting me back for years. And it liberated my mind. And I was just so grateful for that because I've learned how to train my brain that, you know what, people around you have value and they can really give you some major benefit and help you to make progress and reach your goals. So we're offering this for 6 weeks for $97.
We're just the first thing, so hold on in if this is for you because
yeah,
it's up to you to decide. But this time is now. Like, time is always now. Like if someone
Yeah.
asks you what time is now, you
Yeah.
know, like there's no time like the present. So
Definitely.
we're going to close back, and if you guys have any questions, type
Yeah,
them
we
in the
can-
chat box. We've had lots of great comments. You guys are awesome. Katie says, Tony Horton is such a positive person. He makes a great brain. I love Tony Horton. He's a crack. I joked with my father-in-law that my life would be great if it weren't for me. Definitely. Everyone.
Oh, you know what? That's so good to point out.
She says, I am my own
Honestly,
enemy or
we are.
cheerleader. I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome, Katie. I love that comment. We are our own cheerleader. And you know what? There are going to be times no one's cheering for you. But if you're not cheering for you, how can we expect anyone else to?
If anyone ever comes to me and says, I'm going for a goal, I never want to take the approach of saying, you ain't going to reach that. Because I already know that inside, their little voices are telling them, you can't do this. You can't create that. So I definitely enjoy, I'm glad that you brought that up, because we are our own worst enemy. There's no doubt about it. But it makes it even more complicated when people that we love tell us that we can't do something because they're afraid that we're going to fail or whatever. We're going to embarrass them or whatever. But let's be the people who say, you know what, if you're going for a goal, what can I do? How can I help? How can I support you? And I'm glad that you pointed that out. That's awesome.
We're going to take a few more questions, but we're going to end the recording here. We're grateful that you jumped on tonight, and we will be in touch soon. But today's the day. Like, the time is now. It's always now. So have a good night, everyone.